Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show. Real talk, big opinions, and fearless conversations. From the front lines of politics to the latest in pop culture. From breaking sports headlines to the stories that move the world. Nothing's off limits, and nobody's holding back. Arrington Gavin is here to break it down, build it up, and keep it all the way real. So turn it up, lean in, and let's get into it. This is the Arrington Gavin Show.
What's happening, ladies and gents? Welcome to another great episode of the Arrington Gavin Show, your go-to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day. Whether it's politics, sports, pop culture, or the latest buzz, look, we're diving deep and keeping it real. So please do me a favor, kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. Look, on today's conversation, I want to talk about social media. I want to talk about how do you see social media? Do you see it as a positive resource here in our world, or do you see it as a negative resource? The reason why I asked that question, because in Australia they recently had banned social media for kids under the age of 16. Permanent ban. I'm talking TikTok, Instagram, every social media you can think of banned. I think it's quite harsh in my opinion, because stuff, social media is used however you use it. Yes, it has its pros, and yes, it also has its cons. But to forcefully take something away from, kids, I'm not a fan of it. I mean, I do, if as long as something has a parental guide on it, then you should be good. But we'll talk about it. Also, two very vocal and very popular conservative, far-right conservative personalities are going toe-to-toe. Candace Owens and Tim Pool recently have been going back and forth off of the assassination of Charlie Kirk. More so Candace Owens, who was very close with Charlie Kirk at the time and was a part of the the whole come up of Turning Point, has called out just a lot of other folks on the right, and Tim Pool had some things to say. And then also too, imagine going to a Veneer Specialist thinking he's the top one in the city, only to find out this man is not qualified at all, and all his qualifications was a lie. We're going to talk about it here on the Arrington Gavin Show. As always, family, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to chime in the conversation. You know how to tune into us and support us. Simply, for those who are watching us right now on YouTube, do me a favor, like, subscribe, share with a friend, share with family. I truly appreciate if you would do so. We are seeing growing numbers with our subscribers and our viewership numbers, and we truly appreciate it. We want to continue to build up that momentum and keep the just keep great conversation going, man. That's simply what we have here. We have fun. We want to inform you all. We're opinionated, but again, it's conversation you have at a cookout. All right, that's what you get here on the Arrington Gavin Show. Also, for those who are watching us on Facebook right now, look, like and follow us on Facebook if you haven't done so yet. Lastly, you can also watch past episodes of the Arrington Gavin Show on Goatverse TV. That's right, Goatverse TV, greatest of all time. That's right. Ways you can check out those episodes is by downloading the Goatverse TV app. It's available in the App Store, Google Play Store, Roku, or Amazon Fire TV. So those are your options to stay afloat through that platform. Of course, you can listen to us wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to us on the go. We're available on all major podcast platforms. And then you can also listen to us in your cars on the radio by way of our family out in New Orleans, but WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about. You can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show weeknights at 7 p.m. Central Time. Again, that's only on WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about. And then also you can listen to us in the Houston area by way of Afro Vibes Radio Mondays at 12 p.m. Central time. Then we're going to head over to the Metro Atlanta area to WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk. You can chime in to the Arrington Gavin Show weeknights at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And again, that's only on WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk. Look, my friends, we got a lot to discuss here, but first I got to talk. I have something to get off my chest here because I mentioned in some a previous show, maybe a couple of shows ago, I can't really recall. I spoke about Philip Rivers. Philip Rivers, NFL quarterback, is currently in comeback mode because he had his last game. It was a playoff game in 2021 when he was playing for the Indianapolis Colts. I know this because I am a Colts fan, okay? And so I remember his career playing for the Chargers. Then they were called the San Diego Chargers. Now they're currently called the Los Angeles Chargers. But Philip Rivers, 44 years old, has 10 kids, had been retired for so long. All of a sudden he comes back due to multiple because the Indianapolis Colts had multiple injuries on their QB roster, right? They had three of their active QBs that were all injured. So you have an active roster, then you have a practice squad. Practice squad is exactly as it sounds. They are signed with the team, but to my knowledge, they do not they're not on the active roster. So you might see him out there not dressed out on the sidelines, but that just in case if anything happens, injuries, they might have to move up some people up the roster because hey, look, injuries happen on a regular basis in the NFL. So that being said, we had Daniel Jones out for the season, I think torn Achilles. You had Anthony Richardson, who was on injured reserve, and I'm blanking on our other backup, his name, but he was also injured. So then they said, well, let's hit up Philip Rivers. Now, I think it's a bit unfair because Philip Rivers is 44 years old. Philip Rivers is also had not played since 2021. He signed to the practice squad. He then quickly made it to the active roster, quickly became a starter. All right. Now, in real time, because we're in real time currently, he is playing, he is starting, and they're not doing too bad, not doing so bad. But 44 years old, he's a grandfather. He's the second grandfather, if I'm not mistaken, to compete in the NFL. The first was Brett Favre at age 41. And the reason why I bring it up is because I feel as though they skipped over a lot of great and talented QBs. In my honest opinion, I think they skipped over and gave this man the red carpet because they knew it would bring a lot of media attention, which it has, because hey, we're talking about it here on the show. But I think it's unfair that you skip over guys who have probably been that are still active on the free agent list, right? Waiting, competing time and time again, still working out every day, competing to see who's going to pick them up. You skip over all of them and you go to Philip Rivers, old man Rivers. And nothing against Rivers. I mean, hey, he still has love for the game. He's looking like he never left the game, which that's so many other players. But I just think I thought of this because Cam Newton had basically said, I never retired. I never retired. Y'all could have hit me up. Now, I'm not making this a black and white thing, but Cam is younger. Cam has not been away from the game of football as long as Philip Rivers has. I just I'm if I had to choose, but see, Cam Newton's career did not. The last time he played, I'll just say he did not have the best few seasons, in my opinion. You look at Philip Rivers, his last game in the NFL was a playoff game. So they're like, hey, look, you gave us some good years with Indy. You were pretty sharp. I think Philip Rivers is like, coaching or something like that. So you go back and forth on that. And again, I just, God bless him. Hope he stays healthy. We've seen a lot of injuries. I think Pat Mahomes recently just injured, had an injury. The Chiefs got eliminated, which I mean I don't think it was unexpected. Their season wasn't as sharp as it was. Really, the Chiefs are not who they used to be back in the day. All right, they're getting older. Eventually, Travis Kelce's going to be retiring very soon. I think he has one more year in him. He's engaged to a billionaire superstar in Taylor Swift. He doesn't need the NFL anymore. Now, he still might have love for the game, but Travis Kelce's making a ton of more money outside the NFL. So, say you lose Philip Rivers, all is left is Pat Mahomes, and you got some other great players with KC, but it's going to be hard to continue to continue on a winning program there, winning organization. But I just had to get that off my chest. I had to get that off my chest because I witnessed seeing a 44-year-old man come out of retirement, immediately go to starting and playing in the NFL. It baffles me. I tell you, it baffles me. Look, we're going to take a commercial break, y'all. You're listening to the Arrington Gavin Show. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks.
Every man has a story to tell. Your ambitions, your achievements, your legacy. Your suit should reflect that story, crafted precisely, designed for impact, and tailored exclusively for you. We work with only the finest fabrics, luxurious wools, silk, linen, and blends from world-renowned mills in Italy, the UK, and India. These fabrics are the foundation of custom suits that exude elegance and stand the test of time. But a suit isn't just about fabric, it's about fit, and it's about confidence, and it all starts with you. When you work with me, you'll receive a personalized consultation, whether in person or over Zoom. Together, we'll explore your vision and discuss your needs, and we're gonna bring your ideas to life. My journey as a designer includes apprenticing under New York-based designer Clavon Leonard, showcasing collections at New York Fashion Week, Algeria Fashion Week, and the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. That experience is what we bring to every suit we create, from weddings to corporate events and everything in between. We specialize in crafting one-of-a-kind suits for life's most significant moments. Dapper Luke has been recognized as one of Baltimore's best menswear in 2023, and I was honored to be one of the 10 designers selected for the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. With over 900 satisfied clients, we proudly serve Virginia Beach and Baltimore, bringing world-class designs to these incredible communities. We don't just make suits, we craft confidence. Your suit will fit your body, your style, and it will tell your story. Book your free online personal consultation today. Visit www.dapperluke.com.
Just like a winning team evolves throughout the season, so does your beard. I'm Arrington Gavin, proud CEO of Rugged Evolution Beard Care. With our premium oils, balms, and grooming tools, it's everything you need to level up your beard game. Whether you're a seasoned pro or a rookie, Rugged Evolution is the new smooth. Order now and dominate the beard game like never before. Rugged Evolution Beard Care, because every beard deserves to be legendary.
What's up, y'all? Welcome now.
And we still in traffic.
I don't look familiar, do I? Not in this seat.
Hey, what's that you listening to?
Here to host today.
Hey, turn it up.
With me?
Yeah, this that new GoatVerse app. I got you.
So y'all want to know where the goats are? They're off on the sidelines.
Looking for fresh, relevant content wherever you go?
What was the name of that he said?
Introducing GoatVerse TV.
GoatVerse, that's what it's called.
The free streaming app that brings you the best podcasts, current events, and thought-provoking opinions all in one place. Download it now from the Apple Store or Play Store. In Goats, we trust.
All right, my friends, welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. I'm your guy, Arrington Gavin. Yes, and I'm here to talk with you all about stuff. No, I'm messing with y'all. All right, let's get going with our first story. So, look, before we get going with some of our what I have lined up for you, this just came across my feed, man. James Carville, so known as the Raging Cajun, for all my WBOK listeners, y'all are very familiar with James Carville. He's a Louisiana guy, LSU all day. And look, I'm a Carville fan. I'll be honest. I've watching and getting involved with politics. I mean, James Carville as one of the legendary Democratic strategists, who does not bite his tongue by all means. He's up and up front, very honest, bluntly honest on his take of things. James Carville was one of the individuals that had said wish the Democratic Party had some form of a small primary at that time when I think when Joe Biden exit out of the presidential race and then went on to bring in Kamala Harris, who was voted by a bunch of delegates, voted her as a nominee, but Carville was not happy with that. He's known for the slogan, "It's the economy, stupid." And so he recently was, I think he was asked by The Hill on his take of the Texas Senate race and the announcement that Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett will be entering that Texas race. So here's what he had to say. This is his words. He said, what did he say? He said, okay. He said, first of all, she seems okay. Jasmine Crockett's announcement, first rule of policy. She broke the first rule of politics. Okay. So on his podcast, Politics Wars, with his co-host Al Hunt, Carville told his co-host, first of all, she seems like she's well educated. Well, because she is. And then he went on to say, seems like she's got a lot of energy, but to me, she violates the first rule of politics. And that is, in politics, you always make it about the voters and never about yourself. So I had to think on that. Because I was like, all right, James, you've been very vocal on, as being a Democratic strategist, he's always been very anti a lot of the strategies that are occurring in the current party. Remember, this is the guy that said the progressives should start their own party and not be involved in the Democratic Party. All right. The progressives now. Jasmine Crockett to kind of I hear his point, and I see I'm picturing it right now, because if you can recall her announcement video, the announcement video did not involve anything that is for the people and the American, I'm here for this, that it was all about Donald Trump repeating her name, talking down about, talking bad things about her, the Republicans talking bad about her. It was almost like she was doing this to get back at her haters more than wanting to run for higher office, if that makes sense. So in a sense, I do hear what James Carville is saying, but I think I'm going to say why he's wrong in this case. There is no rules in politics. She broke the first rule. That's hogwash. All right. There is no rules in politics. One thing we've caught on is that if it is rules, all of them has always been broken. No one plays by the rules. And you know what? Some of these recent elections, that has been the winning strategy, because you can't be nice. You can't be Mr. Nice Guy. You can't play by the rule, because the rule book, James, is not working. The traditional strategy of the Democratic Party, or the current or the past strategies that probably worked back then for more moderate Democrats, but now you have you have progressives really growing that party. You have progressive voices growing. You have your Bernie Sanders, your AOC, your Jasmine Crockett's. You have them growing. You have your what's his name out in New York, Zohran Mamdani. You have folks that are really popular figures in the Democratic Party, because on the progressive sides, they look like the ones that are really trying to put up a fight, rather than your moderates like a Chuck Schumer, like your Hakeem Jeffries, what I just heard Charlemagne the God nicknamed him APAC Shakur. APAC Shakur. I think it's hilarious. So in that case, I would say James is wrong for thinking that she broke the rule, but I can see why he would say she's making it about her. I'm not agreeing with him that saying she broke the first rule, but I do see his point of why he would assume she's making the election about herself, which is that is something that won't be helpful if that's your strategy throughout the whole election, because people are going to be like, okay, don't think about yourself, think about us. The highlight moments of Jasmine Crockett's not, I won't say her career, but just highlight moments that made her really known voice in Congress was, her clapback at Marjorie Taylor Greene, her joke about her current governor, Greg Abbott. She has always been kind of like the big sister of the Democratic Party, or the big sister in the in the U.S. Congress. And what I mean by that is, like, when a bully comes to attack one of her own, she comes back and then here's what you gotta do. But at the end of the day, her focus is on Texas. Texas is they do love her district loves them some Jasmine Crockett. Now let's see if she can win statewide, because that's going to be totally different, especially in a red state, right? And she does have a key she has a primary opponent in was it James Tellerico, who is a state legislator who's quite popular. He's moderate, but he's just been a rising star really in the for the Texas Democrats, right? And Democrats as a whole. He had a great interview on Joe Rogan's podcast. He recently had done the Jubilee podcast, where folks like basically debate 20, it's like 1 against 20 people, which as a candidate I felt like that was kind of tacky in my opinion, but hey, maybe that might just be what they need, because you have folks like Pierce Morgan, you have Amanda Seal, you have Candace Owens, you have you have these known, I guess, political voices that are big in debating, and they're going against these people. I mean, it's interesting in my opinion. But anyway, Mr. Carville, I think, once again, I is he right or is he wrong in this? We will see. He was right about the presidential race, right? Because look at the outcome. But for most part, I would say this: a lot of Democrats, a lot of young Democrats ignore James Carville. I'm sorry, they ignore what he has to say. They don't pay him any mind whatsoever. To them, he's just the old, grouchy old man that just doesn't like change. Or I won't even say that, he just doesn't like, he doesn't like the new format of things. He doesn't like the new strategy. He doesn't like his strategy kind of being retired now, and new strategies are starting to build up. That's what I see. But anyways, let me fast forward to this, y'all. What do I want to start with first? I want to talk about Australia. I want to talk about Australia. So recently in Australia, they had announced a hold on, let me replay this video for you all. Give me 1 second. There was a ban in Australia, a social media ban for children under the age of under the age of 16. So 16 and under, they ban social media from them, which I think is quite harsh. But let me go ahead and play this soundbite.
Way to protect their kids there from the harms of social media.
This is world leading. This is Australia showing enough is enough. Make no mistake, this reform will change lives for Australian kids and allowing them to just have their childhood. For Australian parents, enabling them to have greater peace of mind.
So here's what the ban does. It impacts almost a dozen of the most popular platforms in the world, like Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, X, and more, requiring age verification for access to the sites. But if the platforms don't comply, they can face up to $33 million in fines.
This is Australia calling time on social media and the deceptive and harmful design features tethering our children to their platforms. We have young Australians who have literally taken their lives as a result of accessing these platforms. So when their lawyer yells back at us about, do you know about free speech? Well, do you know that we actually have laws, and we expect any company that is providing services in Australia to abide with our laws.
Social media giant Meta, however, says they have consistently raised concerns about this law, arguing, quote, there's a better way. Legislation that empowers parents to approve app downloads and verify age, that allows families, not the government, to decide which apps teens can access. Despite the pushback from the platforms themselves, it's some lawmakers here in the U.S. say we need to look into.
I think protecting children is an avenue that should be pursued. I won't rule out some sort of limitation in sales or distribution or use of those devices. And I just tell you, parents and grandparents need a helping hand. This is getting out of hand.
I think we ought to look at what Australia is doing, for example, and requiring access to these social media platforms to not be available to anybody under the age of 16.
We're going to have to wait and see, though, if Congress ends up taking any concrete action. But you heard there, 2 senators, different parties. There could be bipartisan agreement on this.
All right. Thanks, well, you have 2 little girls. What do you think about it, Todd?
I want it. Look, obviously not the biggest fan of regulations on the whole. A regulatory environment is bad for business, but this is something different. This involves the protection of the voiceless, the powerless that cannot fight for themselves in the halls of Congress. And that's why we need a ban like this. But again, that's just one father's opinion.
All right, thanks. Todd. Yeah.
As a way to protect their kids.
Oh, I'll be honest. I do not like this law at all. I look, I'm not against protecting youth by all means, but to some degree, I think that that's always an easy. It's easy for folks when they're trying to ban something. They bring up, well, we're trying to protect our kid. That is just a sensitive, because here's the thing. There was at one point where you wanted to restrict children from watching streaming services, right? Like a Netflix, and then Netflix started they have a kids version, right? They basically like a parental guide version, and then they have the ones that are for the adults, right? Here's why I don't like it. Now, I'm no parent, so I really can't speak too heavily. Say as a parent, I have nieces and nephews, and I'm not being biased because I'm a lot of my work is through social media, but I agree with Meta in there are other ways. There's literally because now in this case, do you want to just ban kids under 16 from having technology or devices like a cell phone or an iPad or a computer? Because here's the thing: the more you regulate kids from stuff, they're going to find ways to get involved and to get on a site or a platform one way or the other. Now, it is very sad that there has been lives lost due to, I would say, cyberbullying is one major one. Folks being depressed because going through depression because they look at folks that oh man, I want to live their life, and how am I going to be cool if I don't wear this, or how am I going to be accepted if I don't have this kind of body, that kind of body? And it raises so much depression, because when children throughout, under 16, when you hit puberty and this and that, you're still trying to find yourself, right? There's so much that goes on in a preteen, in a child's mind, in a teen's mind, and it's a lot. But honestly, y'all, that is everywhere. It's hard to just avoid that, okay? Because if it's not in the phone, it's going to be within conversations or in schools and this and that. Like, it's just, there's a way that we know sometimes when you overprotect, in my opinion, makes it worse. When you over shelter a child, that makes it worse. So this ban, I think it sucks. For one, how many young people under the age of 16 became famous through social media, through viral moments, right? YouTube, like they're now hindering, those that have probably grown a large presence, and now they have to take that away. Especially, I mean, I would hate, to be a kid and be like, oh wow, I have, these many people now. I can't stay connected with, that was a way folks stayed connected with their friends. If they wasn't talking on the phone, they were talking, through social media. I mean, it's just, I think there's a better way. The elected officials that have spoken about, finding more ways to protect our children, I agree with that. But to say that it's social media is the main cure, to me, is bogus. I really do think so. And really, they're talking to senators who probably have somebody controlling their own social media accounts. A lot of these older cats, they're not on social media their own self. They have young people, they have staffers that control the social media. So again, you're speaking to somebody that is really not educated with social media and can say, oh, this is that, this and that. And let's also not forget too, y'all, algorithm in social media, they feed you algorithm of stuff that you look at, that you consume, that you do. If I'm a person that consumes the news on a regular, guess what? The algorithm in my social media is going to give me news and new stuff. So if it all goes back to having some form of, maybe creating a stronger parental guide feature, or some way a parent can track exactly what their child is searching without the child knowing. I know that's kind of invading privacy, but hey, at the end of the day, when you're in your parents' house, it's under their rules, so they need to be aware of what you're tuning into on your phone. Or, I know some parents will be like, okay, look, once you get home after this certain amount of hours, no cell phone, no this, boom, and then you get it back. I mean, there's households like that. But to permanently ban, I think, until they're 18. So if they're right at 16, then they have they cannot be involved or have any form of social medias for the next 3 years if you live in Australia. Now, if you're younger, obviously that's a longer period. Because I really can't remember how old I was when I got involved in social media. Because I was kind of lazy with it. I got really heavily engaged with Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that when I was in college. High school, not as much, but mostly college and social media. I think there should be courses taught on, it sounds kind of corny, but the right and wrong, or the good and the bad of social media, because social media is such a lucrative tool. Everything is in social media. Businesses are created through social media. Okay? Superstars are born on social media. Comedians have grown careers through social media. I really do not like this law. And the fact that we have officials here in the United States saying, oh, maybe we should, and it possibly could be a bipartisan agreement, that's BS. I do not like that. I pulled up this article reported by Politico.com. Rahm Emanuel. Rahm Emanuel is a former Obama staffer. and I believe he was former mayor of Chicago too. Well, he says that U.S. should follow Australia's youth social media ban. Now, it says here that the potential 2028 presidential contender doesn't want kids under the age of 16 on popular social media platforms, citing health and safety concerns. Rahm Emanuel is pushing for the United States to follow Australia's lead in banning children under the age of 16 from social media. Now, alarmed by the addictive nature of social media apps and the attendant health and safety risks for young users, Emanuel wants to amp up public pressure on American lawmakers to restrict access to some of the world's most popular platforms. A bit of the irony, says here, the potential 2028 White House hopeful plans to issue his call to action as Australia's ban take off in a video he'll post on his social media accounts, according to the plans that the Democrats shared first with Politico. Quote, it says here, "We've got to make a choice when it comes to our adolescents, who's going to be a kind of moral guiding light. I put my thumb on the scale for adults over algorithm, accusing big tech of prioritizing profit over protecting our adolescents." I don't like y'all. What's your take on this? What's your take? Do you think that banning social media for children under the age of 16, do you look at that as a good thing, and do you hope that the U.S. adopts that law from Australia? Are you hoping? And I'm talking to the listener. I'm talking to those that are parents. I'm talking to those who are grandparents. I'm talking to those who are just young teenagers. Like, what's your take on it? Do you look at this as like unfair? I mean, all these regulations is bogus. I'm telling you. We can. I don't know. I look at it like this. We are thinking about adopting the law of banning social media for children under the age of 16 because it's for safety, to help the safety concerns. Now, what is happening when it comes to other issues involving kids under the age of 16, right? Because last time I checked, we've been having a lot of gun violence issues that involve kids under the age of 16. Now, is the root of that social media? Because not everything can be blaming social media. So social media cannot be the blame for everything, is what I'm trying to say. Social media cannot be the blame for everything. And I think that's my biggest concern, is social media has always been involved always been used as a blame for everything. And I've been saying time and time again, I'm like, even like with AI, a lot of you don't like AI, but I'm like this. AI is not leaving no time soon. It is going to be here to stay. And so you have, lose my train of thought. Hold tight, y'all. And with AI, it can work in your favor, and then if you don't use it properly, then it can be the worst thing to have, right? Because obviously AI has, a lot of people have been, a lot of corporations and businesses are investing in artificial intelligence, but it's not all the way bad. It's just the way how you use it. Everything is not bad. It's just how you use it. So again, before I end this convo, y'all, and I think I'll continue this conversation. I'm gonna hold the story in the archive, because trust and believe, I would love to bring on some guests to get their take. I'll probably have maybe one person that's for, one person that's against it. Let's kind of have have the discussion about it, because it's quite interesting. it is quite interesting. Social media is, like I said, I love it. I love it. I've always loved it. Social media has benefited political campaigns. Some people look at social media for their, for their news, right? Again, I don't see it being. Maybe I have to talk with kids 16 and under. What's their take? Let me, I'll have to do like a Q&A or something. I'll literally have to do like a town hall with some teens and be like, as a teen, how do you utilize social media? Right? I'm so curious of this, but hey, Australia, you have folks that are for it, you have folks that are not for it. We will see. We will see how this conversation goes more in the next few months or leading into 2026. So again, what's your take on the Australia social media Australia social media ban? Sorry. What's your take on that, y'all? Are you for it or are you against it? Let us know you can DM me on Instagram, social media, haha. You can also hit us up on our website, www.theagshow.com. I really appreciate it to hear your thoughts on that. So let me go ahead and move it on here. As I mentioned before, y'all, a very popular political far-right conservative podcaster, talk show host, Tim Pool was recently went on a rant. I mean, a huge rant about Candace Owens and folks like her. I mean, using very vulgar language. I think I'm trying to see if this is the clean version. I want to make sure I don't give y'all the dirty one, because that dirty one, that is pretty raunchy. Let me see if I got it up here. I think this is it. Okay, I think this is it right here. So let me bring this up and then we'll talk on the other side about this whole back and forth between Candace Owens and Tim Pool. So hold tight as I bring that up for you all.
Scared that she'll put you on her thumbnail and claim you benefited from Charlie Kirk's assassination, which she's doing to me right now.
Yeah, that was
I'm done with these people.
She has security, just not on the level of you.
Meanwhile, I get bullets fired at my property and I have to go live in the middle of nowhere. And I got strangers coming up to my house in Maryland, breaking in. I got people showing up and beating up the residents who trying to live there. How the am I even supposed to sell this property?
So there's a lot to unpack there. First and foremost, what you are seeing right there is on a display of testosterone. Men that speak to women like this are not tough guys, okay? What you are seeing is actually a display of estrogen. Everything he is doing there is somebody who is not a man. He is not tough, and he would never dare to speak to a man like that. Milo defended me and explained that I am not to blame for the lame excuses that the feds have given us regarding Charlie Kirk's assassination. And that if we do need to have some spiritual searching in terms of what the Republican Party has become, that the time for that is now. And I really like, he's a small person, a very small person who is also theatrical. Timothy Smollett, who pretends every year like people are trying to kill him. He's a chronic fence sitter, okay? Pretending like he is braving the wilderness for being what?
Well, so there you have obviously, Candace Owens putting her 2 cents on that rant. Now the rant was much longer than that. That was just a little glimpse of Tim Pool has been a very popular. I would say his audience is preferably conservative, far right leaning folks that has made him a star, made him a household name, and he is sharing that. He is done with it. Like he's talking about just giving up on this whole career, right? Is it worth it, right? Because he's talking about safety of him and his family. Another person that's on the far right, Marjorie Taylor Greene. I was about to say Marjorie Trader Green. Marjorie Taylor Greene. She announced that she was leaving Congress on, I believe, January 6th. One of the issues that she spoke about was, hey, safety for her and her family. Because whenever you talk bad about the man in Washington, his base goes ham and wants to, go after you. And it's unfortunate, but that is accurate. Now, you have folks like Candace Owens, who has been a gaslighter since day one, who has been calling out folks in her own party, in my opinion, because she's not invited to anything anymore. Like she's old news for them now. She's grown her platform. Now was it as large as when she was with the Daily Wire? Probably not, but she's known to make these controversial claims and this and that. I mean, she talked about the French prime minister's wife. She's talking about this Charlie Kirk assassination, saying, she's known for always making these crazy claims that there's folks that are into conspiracies that just always like, she might be right. She might be right. So now Tim Pool speaking out. This is reported by the newrepublic.com. It says here McElworld is on a fritz when far-right influencer Tim Pool dialed up the critique of his fellow conservative influencers during a live stream, claiming he was effing done with the political caucus while branding his own as scumbags and psychopaths. Woo! Pool, who rose to prominence during the Occupy Wall Street movement, ignited when the topic of his podcast veered toward Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA, which he claimed was being destroyed by conspiracy theories. I quote, he says here, the organization that helped get Donald Trump elected is being gutted by, excuse my French, effing psychopaths telling people to pull their donations. Their leader and founder is murdered, and prominent pieces of human trash are trying to destroy him. It's effing evil. He took a specific aim at influencer Candace Owens, whom he called not going to say that word, but a very bad word. I'll just say again, I'm on radio, y'all. I got to watch now. The old me, also, I'll read it to you. But for communicating to CNN last month that she didn't believe Kirk was killed by the man charged with the crime, 22-year-old Utah native Tyler Robinson. Now, he went on to say, I first and foremost do not believe she said this. She said, I first and foremost do not believe Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk. Whether he was involved, I think the answer was yes. Owen said an old friend of Kirk's, who was an old friend of Kirk's. Since then, Owens had shared social media posts insinuating that Turning Point is no longer aligned with Kirk's vision, citing an alleged redirection from America's colleges to faith-based organizations. Let's see here. Poole went on to slam conservatives who had reached out to him, thanking him for exonerating Owens while failing to take the stands themselves. He went on to say she is burning everything down and she's gloating and smiling while she does it. Don't effing DM me like I did something for you as you cower, as you effing cower. I mean, whoo! I mean, this man went ham. Scared that she'll put on her thumbnails. Claim, well, you heard that part of in the video. Owens in turn appeared on standby her right-wing ally, writing to her 7.5 million, you hear me, 7.5 million social media followers, that she wouldn't turn Poole's violent reaction into a cheap internet moment. She said he is genuinely not well right now. There is just so there's just so clearly something personal going on in his life. It's hard to run a business and he's under pressure. Pray he comes through it. See, stuff like that probably makes it worse for him in general. Now, here's my thing. One thing we've realized about these far right conservative podcasters, influencers, however you want to call them, they're starting to hit rock bottom. Why? Because in my opinion, their take on things have always caused more harm than good. You see folks like Alex Jones losing everything. You see folks like Tim Pool obviously having a breakdown moment there. Candace Owens, she's always kept her poise. Okay. But deep down, it ain't the same how it used to be for her. It's not. It's not. That whole far right, conservative talk, it just don't work no more. It shouldn't have worked back then. But it's definitely not working now. So now you see these folks. For crying out loud, you got Matt Gaetz in the press room as a reporter for OAN. Matt Gaetz, a disgraced congressman, now hosts a news show. I mean, it's disgusting all around. It's a lot, y'all. I'm looking at my time here. Let's go ahead. We're going to take a quick breather, but when we come back, we have one more story before we close. And thank you for sticking with us here on the Arrington Gavin show. As I mentioned, we got one more story we're going to share with you all before we close, but we're going to take a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. You listen to the Arrington Gavin show.
Let me tell you something most people get wrong about suits. A suit isn't just about you wearing it. It's how you show the world who you are. It's your handshake before you say a word, your presence when you step into any room. That's why we design statements at Dapper Luke. We don't just make suits. We'll start with the fabrics that tell your story, luxurious wools, silk, linen, and blends sourced from the finest mills in Italy, the UK, and India. Then we'll combine that with your vision, your personality, and your style. Every detail is tailored to you, from the fit to the finish. Whether for your wedding, a gala, the boardroom, we specialize in creating custom suits that are unique, just like the men who wear them. We spent years perfecting this craft, apprenticing under designers in New York and showcasing collections in New York and for Baltimore Fashion Week. None of that matters as much as seeing the look on your face when you try on your custom suit. Over 900 clients have already trusted us to deliver the best custom suits. They trust me to deliver the confidence. We proudly serve Virginia Beach and Baltimore and would be honored to bring your vision to life next. Let's create something unforgettable. Book your free consultation today at www.dapperluke.com.
All right, family, welcome back to the show. So last on our list today. So imagine you know how celebrities, you're starting to see celebrities on a regular basis with these big teeth, big teeth. I'm talking teeth so big it look like it's about to fall out their face. Big teeth. There was a story about in Atlanta of this very popular labeled as the top veneer specialist in Atlanta, and he was a rising star, young guy, huge social media presence, right? And it then turned out everything was fake. This man had absolutely no qualifications, no licensing, nothing. Let me read you this. This is reported by WSB TV in Atlanta. Says here that a Fulton County grand jury indicted a man accused of making millions by performing cosmetic dental procedures without a license. Says here that Brandon Dillard, has called himself Atlanta's top veneer specialist, but his criminal arrest warrants say he is not a licensed dentist and has been illegally performing veneer procedures. Wow, y'all. Wow. You see it right here for those who are watching. He's been indicted on 113 113 counts. 113 counts. Made $4 million charging for veneers and training others. Says here that he was never licensed. He was never a licensed dentist, but still performed cosmetic dental procedures, including veneers on clients who paid thousands of dollars per visit. Look at my time here. Okay, doing good. And so, where did I leave off? I lost my place. Okay, so authorities allege that the operation pulled in approximately $4 million, as I mentioned earlier, despite Dillard lacking the credentials required to legally practice dentistry in Georgia. According to the WSB TV, investigators say Dillard didn't just charge clients for veneers. He allegedly, made additional money by selling training courses and certifications, charging others thousands of dollars to learn how to become a veneer specialist or technician themselves. I mean, wow, y'all. Wow. My whole thing is, how the heck did he even I guess the main question is, how did he pull it off? That's my big thing. How did he pull it off without a license? Like, there had to be more inside help. It couldn't just be all on him. Like, how the hell did he pull all that off? Says here that Dillard now faces a wide range of charges, including RICO violations, theft, and practicing dentistry without a license. Prosecutors allege that the scheme operated for an extended period and misled clients and trainees into believing they were dealing with a properly licensed professional. Dillard is expected to be arraigned in January. All allegations remain claims by prosecutors, and the case is ongoing. Once again, y'all, it's a shame that people do things all for the sake of money. He outsmarted the system and said, you know what, let me go ahead and do this. I mean, now think of how many folks he affected. He affected so many. They think they're safe, and with the professionalism and the other, you don't know what can happen. You don't the future damage with these what do they call it, with these veneers. Because I've seen celebrities, like, one day they're like, small smile, the next day like them teeth are just like big, and I'm like, whoa, what is that? That's like the new look now. It's butt lifts, Botox, and veneers, man. Let me tell you something. Veneers. Everybody getting them veneers, man. I ain't gonna lie. If I had the funds, I probably would. I like having big teeth. Yeah, I want to have some big teeth. My wife said, absolutely not. You don't need that. I'm like, I don't know. Because these teeth ain't gonna be here forever now. They ain't gonna be here forever. But it's extremely unfortunate. Again, the so-called top Atlanta veneer specialist now indicted on 113 counts, y'all. 113 counts. This man about to serve life. Okay. Especially since I'm assuming he already probably spent the money, so he doesn't have the funds to pay it back. And again, he did all the stuff as an imagine if you had a surgeon or a doctor that was doing it for years, and all this time they did not have a license. I mean, that is crazy, y'all. But I'm trying to see, like, where was his office even at? Like, I just got questions. I got questions, y'all. But as always, it's about that time, y'all. It's about that time where now the end is near. No, I'm joking. But it is my time, y'all. As always, thank you for so much for sticking with us here on the program. Be sure to tune into the show weeknights, available on all digital and streaming platforms. Follow us on all social media platforms as well. And I think that's all I got for you. Y'all stay safe out there. Stay informed. I'll talk with y'all soon. I'm out.
That's it for tonight on the Arrington Gavin Gavin Show. Thanks for tapping in and keeping the conversation alive. Don't forget, stay connected with us on all platforms. Follow at Arrington Gavin on Instagram, Blue Sky, and X, and subscribe to the official Substack for exclusive takes and deep dives you won't get anywhere else. We're here every weeknight, same time, same energy, same real talk. Until next time, stay bold, stay sharp, and stay true. That's what we do on the Arrington Gavin Show. Peace.